Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So first round of Mr. Negative Arena has finished, and now we can start talking cutoffs and also my personal grind and results. But first things first, let's just get through the numbers. So 6-star Mr. Negative went for 133.2-ish million for spot 100. And that's huge. That's 4 million higher than Shang-Chi went, and this is a very troublesome sign that any new 6-star champion that is getting introduced to the game, regardless of how good or bad they are, is likely gonna go for this amount of points or even more. I actually expect the cutoffs to rise further because there are a ton of people still trying for these and missing out narrowly. And trust me, if you miss out for a champion once, next time when you're going to go for the same grind, you're going to make sure you put up significantly more points than needed or that anybody expects. So I personally predict cutoffs for new 6-star champions to actually increase even further as people's rosters grow, as their determination grows. We'll see what happens there, but that is a scary cutoff. But that is for the sweatiest of tryhards. 5-star Mr. Negative, however, went for very achievable 41 million, and that is another point that I don't think gets enough attention. Don't get me wrong, new arena system sucks for everybody when it comes to acquiring units and battle chips, and it definitely has to be changed. 100%. There's nothing good about current system of milestones. And even the sweatiest of sweaty grinders have to put in significantly more effort right now to achieve the same results as you did before. And if you don't have a massive roster, this arena is just borderline unplayable. But when it comes to the champion acquisition, this arena has actually improved the situation for most people who previously used to regularly grind for 5 stars. Even if you do not have the means, the time, or resource to get the 6-star champions that you couldn't do before, regardless, because there were no 6 stars in arenas, at this point, acquiring 5 stars has become easier. I think the cutoffs have seen quite a noticeable dip in general when it comes to getting the 5-star champions, especially the basic 5 stars, where you can still grind using your 6 stars and achieving 25 millions in any arena. We're going to see for Gambit I'm talking about now, where you can use 6 stars, is not really all that difficult of a task. So 5-star Mr. Negative went for 41 million, which is very doable score, and I think that is kind of like a positive change when what has come out of all the new arenas when it comes to 5-star acquisition. 6-star acquisition is going to be for the sweatiest of the sweaty grinders, and in that one I mean quite literally. I'm going to talk about it a bit later, but 6-star featured grinds are brutal. Anyways, let's move on to Gambit. So 6-star Gambit went for very achievable 53.7 million. So that again once more shows that the champion, if you have an arena where one champion gets overshadowed by the other arena, 6 stars are also very achievable. Thinking about it back, it wasn't too long ago when there were 5 stars going for 80 plus millions, and even after the expansion of 5-star acquisition to top 300 spots, we had champions like Strife and Odin that went like 60 something million, and now we have a 6-star instead of 5-star going for 50 something million, and Stealth Suit Spidey went for 40 million round 1, and then like 60 something million round 2, I think. But the fact itself that you can put up a score that you were putting up before for 5-star champions and get a 6-star, even though that 6-star might not be the most desired champion, it is still very encouraging for a lot of people. Like, you can't always get everything you want in life, and obviously Mr. Negative is the shiniest of the shiny new champions, because he's literally so shiny he makes your eyes hurt. But the fact that you can acquire a 6-star champion now for the scores that would previously net you a 5-star champion is in fact positive change, and you can't tell me otherwise. The fact that previously you would have had to put up 60 millions to get a champion as a 5-star, now you can get 6 stars for that. It's definitely very good. And once again proves that these new arenas are helping in terms of champion acquisition. But they are still horrible when it comes to the resources right now. So 6-star Gambit, very achievable, 53.7 million, and Gambit is actually quite good champion, so I think that is a solid grab there for relatively low amount of effort compared to the Mr. Negative, for instance. In fact, I do believe that next to each other, Gambit might actually be as good, if not more useful than Mr. Negative is at this point anyways. Maybe my opinion will change, but when it comes to actual champion quality, I think Gambit can probably help you more. Anyways, and 5-star Gambit, 25 million. That's very cheap. That is pittance. That's not much effort at all if you have even a remotely decent 6-star roster. Even if you don't, putting up 25 millions is not all that hard as soon as 6 stars get involved. And those are the scores. So there are some troublesome bits. I do think that we're going to see cutoffs for featured 6 stars go even higher. But at the same time, the unhype arena champion, the champion that gets overshadowed by other arena, 6-star cutoffs are very achievable, very reasonable. And 5-star cutoffs, I believe, have gone down as well. So that is definitely a positive change. So when it comes to my own personal grind, let's go take a look at where we're standing right now, because this one was brutal. In fact, I have been overdoing it a bit with arenas, because in the last 10 days, so in the last 3 consecutive arenas, starting with Stealth Suit Spidey, then Immortal Abomination, and then Mr. Negative, in the last 3 arenas, I actually ended up putting over 350 million points. So for the last 10 days, I have been a sweaty grinder. And this time, we can see that I placed spot 98. Spot 98 came at 133.8 million. And I personally thought Mr. Negative is going to go lower, significantly lower. My personal prediction was that Mr. Negative might even be going under 100 million. Now, why did I think so? Because Immortal Abomination went for 105 million, Shang-Chi went for 130 something million. But the idea is that Mr. Negative really isn't all that good. And he isn't exactly a prestige powerhouse either. The reason I put up more points, I was going to put up 100 plus points regardless. I was going to put up close to 120 million. But in the last day, I spoke with my alliance mates, and I had about 6 or 7 alliance mates that were grinding for Mr. Negative. And all of them were way ahead of me. All of them except one, who is a poor integral that missed out. Man, I feel sorry for the guy. He finished at about 120 million, and he landed at spot 121. So again, there were a ton of people that put up 100 plus million for this guy and unfortunately missed. And yeah, because my alliance mates were so far ahead of me, I actually spent the last day grinding like a madman. I also ended up using just over an Odin refreshing, because I had a slow start, because when this arena started, all my 5 stars and 6 stars were pretty much on cooldown from the previous arena. So I lost like 10 million plus there, and I had to make it up along the way. And in general, I think this was pretty much the hardest grind I have done. But on the upside, I have kind of like figured out the timing of what I need to do and when I need to do to kind of like get the most or the best out of my roster and still have relatively free schedule in evenings, because I set my grind up in the way where I wake up early, I do the 6-star round as early as possible in order to be able to do it before 6 p.m. GMT in the evening once again, so I can squeeze in 7 rounds with 6 stars and then grind out 5 stars twice a day. And that kind of like gets me over 110 million at this point. And everything else is either thanks to boost or arena boosts or refreshes or whatever. I can probably squeeze in 120 million without units, which with my roster obviously is doable. But I'm in a fortunate position to have ability to do so. And it still cost me about an Odin in refreshes. So, on the bright side, however, I do have Mr. Negative to claim here, so let's claim it in the video. Very good, super happy with that. And that makes it 4th 6-star champion that I have picked up, and it has been a ton of work. The last thing that I definitely do have to address is because I have heard some quite nasty comments about the fact that I do grind the new arenas. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a fan of arena changes at all, and I have made several videos ripping into new arenas when it comes to resource acquisition point. But from the very first video, I was always open and honest about what I personally think these arena changes mean for my account, and that I think they are individually helpful. And that attitude that I don't have an account big enough to grind for a 6-star champion or a 5-star, and you shouldn't either. It's kind of childish. With that kind of attitude, if you don't have roster big enough to do Abyss, I shouldn't either. If you can't do 7.2, I shouldn't either. I don't quite understand where those people are coming from, but I have seen a lot of negative comments about the fact that I grind the arena in the first place, and it must be nice to be able to casually pick up the champions. Well, let me tell you something. There's absolutely nothing casual about doing 130 million grind regardless of the size of your roster. Even if you have every 6-star in the game, it will still ask of considerable amount of effort. And typically the people who say things like that are also the people who probably are not the hardest working people themselves. I don't know. It just kind of bummed me out. Some of those comments that I supported you for years and new arenas suck, but it must be nice for you to pick up these 6-stars. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is nice. I still hate the arenas in terms of milestones and resource acquisitions. Very bad change. I have been open about it. I have uploaded 2 videos on it and discussed it multiple times with hundreds of people. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, we have 6-star Mr. Negative now. I will have a 3-day break from arenas, which is great, which comes just in time to do the new videos for CAV difficulty, to do new champion buff videos, and then more than likely I will be back in arena grinding for either Spider-Ham, who should be the basic champion, or the buff champion selector that should be coming, which will include Vulture, OG Black Panther, and Mr. Fantastic. So we'll see what happens then, but for now, that is it from me. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I shall catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the